Hey guys, welcome to our lab on electrical circuits. What we're going to do first is introduce one of your most useful tools here, the multimeter. So we're going to dive right in and show you how to rig up this lab. So the first thing you want to notice about the multimeter is it's got 4 plugs down here at the bottom. What I'm going to always do when I use this guy is keep them as they are right here. So both of the two things that we do with the multimeter will mean that you have the black, the ground, and what's called the common, and that's another term for ground. And we'll have the red over in the volts and ohms setting. So those are the two things that we do with this meter. We use it to measure the resistance of stuff, and we use it to measure the voltage drop on things as they're carrying current. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use it first of all as a resistance meter. So you're going to notice if I take the selector and turn it down into the ohm region down here, that I've got 200, 2000, etc. Those are the maximum numbers it can read in the various settings. So I like it to be as high as it can be while still being able to measure the resistor. So in this lab, our first lab, what you're going to do is have your choice of any of these resistors, 5, 10, 15, 30. I'm just going to grab the 5 because it's convenient, and I'll show you how to measure the resistance of one of these guys. So a little tricky to do it by holding two things in my hand, but I think I can swing it. What I'm going to do, actually no, I take it back. I'm going to show you first of all how to get the connection. What you do is grab this thing and don't be shy, mash your fingers so you're holding the probes really firmly against the wire connection. And then once you've got that, then I should be able to bring up the ohm meter and show you what it's doing. So let's go ahead and grab that. And here you go. This is why we do it. This resistor said 10 watts and 5 ohms, which I think you can read if you can read upside down. But really what you see is it's actually 5.2. So we believe the 5.2. We don't really believe the 5 anymore. Thinking it wants to be a 5.1, but no, it wants to be a 5.2. Okay, so that's done. What I'm going to do is set that guy down, and we'll come back to it. By the way, turn it off in between. Save the battery. What I'm going to do is set that resistor aside and show you how to rig up this incredibly simple first circuit we're doing. But it's good that I show you because this is a setup for how we do circuits in general. The first connection I do is to the DC side of the battery. And what I'm going to do then is, because we want to measure current, I'm going to run electrical current to the ammeter. And I run in on the red side of this ammeter. So that you'll notice, just like the voltmeter, this ammeter has different numbers, maximums that it can be used at. I'll put it on 30 because that's the most rugged setting that this very not rugged meter has on it. And what I'm going to do is then run from the red of the ammeter, let the electricity run through the ammeter, do what it's going to do in here, and then run out the black of the ammeter like so. And then what I'm going to do is connect that up to my 5.2 ohm resistor right here. And then what I've got is a part of a circuit. I'm going to complete the circuit by connecting my last cable, the one with the banana plug that fits into the black side of the power supply, like so. Now, what I want you to notice is that this is one big circle. If I take out any part of the circle, if I take out the ammeter and leave it disconnected, nothing will work. There won't be a circuit anymore. That's the way you can tell that you've got a series connection. This ammeter and this resistor are in series with each other because the charges that have to go through this one also have to go through this one. We'll talk more about why that needs to be the way it is for an ammeter down the road just a little bit, but this is a good circuit. So what I'm going to do is measure current. And I'm going to start with the voltage down way low, turn the power on, see if this guy's working. Okay, we've got signs of life. So I'm tweaking up the voltage, and I'm seeing that there's a needle that's moving here, and I think you can see it now too. It moves just a little bit. Well, the reason it's moving a little bit is 30 amp setting is ridiculous. We're not going to draw 30 amps in this circuit. 3 would probably be a safe maximum too. So what I'm going to try to do is repeat. Oh, there we go. And that's a lot more action. So in this lab, what you're going to do is go from the lowest setting on the volts that the power supply can do, and you're going to step up one at a time, and you're going to read current readings. This is nice because there's 10 divisions between 0 and 1. I don't know if you can see them there on this, but between 0 and 1, there's 10 divisions. So every notch or every small mark on this ammeter when it's on the 3 setting is a 1/10 of an amp, okay? So while that's going, I'll show you how to use the voltmeter to measure volts, or so show you how to use the multimeter to measure volts. What we're going to do is switch it to the DCV side, and 20 would be a safe maximum to use throughout this lab. And all we're going to do here is to bring the resistor back in the frame and show you how I use the multimeter to measure volts. So here's my multimeter. It's reading 0. See if I can set it right here so you can see it. And what you do is you jump one side of the voltmeter, the red one, on this side, and the other side of the voltmeter on the other side, and you can see it's reading minus 5.64. That's interesting. That's because I just jumped in kind of blindly, and I just let those two leads fall on either side where they fell. But what I really should have done was to think about that voltmeter. This side of the voltmeter is closest to the positive of the battery, so that's the highest energy side. So that should have gone with the red of the voltmeter, and this one goes to the black of the voltmeter. And you see my negative 5.62 now turns into a positive 5.62. That doesn't really matter until later when we get into complicated circuits where it does matter that you know how to connect these things correctly. But anyway, I would write down the voltage drop on this thing really right now is 5.65 volts, 5.65, 5.66, and that's how you're going to get readings. So those are the basics about how you use the multimeter, the ammeter, and your first circuit. So we'll see you in the lab. Take care. Bye-bye.